Hello, it's Charles with Uber Eats. Today is Wednesday, the 4th of March, 2026. And I am blessed and grateful because I received the precious gift of tomorrow with God's wake-up call this morning, and I got to see another day here in beautiful, sunny, warm Tampa, Florida. And you woke up this morning and you also received that precious gift of tomorrow with God's wake-up call, and you got to see another day here on earth. God is good, God is great, always and always. Amen. The time right now is 4:02 a.m. this Wednesday morning, and according to weather-atlas.com, the sun will rise today at 6:50 a.m. So that's 2 hours and 48 minutes from now. And according to that website, the sun will set this evening at 6:32 p.m. So Tampa will enjoy over 11 hours and 42 minutes of daylight today. I had a wonderful day yesterday delivering food in Tampa Bay. I enjoyed wonderful weather and I had a fantastic breakfast, so I've got no complaints from yesterday. Unfortunately, I didn't see the blood moon. I didn't get to see the lunar eclipse. I think because it was so close to the time the sun was coming up, the sky was too bright for me to see the moon, so that was a little bit of a disappointment for me yesterday, but I got to see the full moon nonetheless. So overall, it was a good day, and there will be another lunar eclipse for me to see. Just gotta wait a while. I think the next lunar eclipse falls on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, going from 2028 to 2029, I think, is the next lunar eclipse, I believe. I had to plug my phone in. I neglected to charge my phone overnight, and it's down to 5%, so it should be fine now that I got it plugged in. So I've got 2 years and almost 10 months, just shy of 10 months and 2 years to wait for my next lunar eclipse, so I've got a while. I am making good progress with that quest that I'm on for the $240. I have to complete 110 trips this week before 11:59 p.m. And I'm already at 31 trips, so I need to make another 79 trips by the end of the week, and I most definitely will do that. If I just do 16 trips, I think I figured it out. I have to average 16 trips for the next 5 days, more or less, and I've been hitting that mark. 15 customers, not trips. I have to do 16 customers every day for the rest of the week, I believe is how the math works out, more or less, and I'll have no trouble hitting that 110 goal by the end of the week. So this is gonna be another great earnings week for me on the app. 2 weeks in a row I've made good money. I make good money every week, but these bonuses really help. I earned $190 last week, and then this week I'll have an extra $240 on my pay. So I've got another great week ahead of me here in Tampa, Florida with my Uber Eats business. I'm sitting up at my normal pump, and I've been inside already, and I got my free cup of ice. See that free ice in my Starbucks cup. And this morning I went with the peach tea flavor. Peach tea, Monster Rehab, Revive, Refresh, Recover. See that? And with today being the 4th of March, this can says A2613. So this can was made January the 13th of this year. So this can is a month. See, there was 18 days left in January, and then you've got the whole month of February, so you've got 18 days in a month plus 4, so 22 days. This can is a month and 22 days old. I'm gonna go ahead and get it cracked open here. I spilled more stuff on my passenger seat yesterday. Lady gave me, I don't know what you even call them, they're They were cold coffees, but they were half milk, and they had some special name on them on the receipt. I can't remember what it said now, but it was a designer drink, and they weren't sitting in the cup holder. She gave me one of those cardboard cup holders, and they weren't sitting in there right. So every time I went to turn, they would flip over. Fortunately, the lids were on there tight enough, and they wouldn't completely come out, but they kept dribbling everywhere whenever they'd flip out of the cup holder, so I got more stains on my seat. Unfortunately, see if this drink is any good. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. And I didn't get any more. This is another day I hadn't had any responses to my service. I reminded a lot of customers yesterday to give me feedback on my service, and that how much I like getting feedback, and I look forward to looking at it at the end of my day and finding out how I did, but no one responded to that survey to let me know how I did. So those numbers are all the same, unfortunately. And there is some movement in those other numbers. My customer satisfaction score is still at 99%. I incurred 2 more canceled orders yesterday that were out of my control. It could have been much higher. What was it? One of the places was I went to pick up a courier saver from Office Depot for a customer named Sid, and the Office Depot was doing a planned power outage, and they weren't going to be open until after 12:30. Well, it was around 11 that I was there, so I had to cancel that order. Another order was a pickup at a Ford dealership. I don't know what the part was, but they did not have the part to give the customer, so that was a canceled order. And then I had 4 altogether. I only know of 3 though that I can see. It was a ghost kitchen. I went to pick up, yeah, here it is at the very end of my day. It was a Ruby Tuesdays, but it was a ghost kitchen operating out of Ruby Tuesdays called Mukbang Burger. They didn't have the right buns to make this guy's smash burger. So that's 3 of the 4. I had 4 canceled orders yesterday, but there's 3 of the 4, and 2 of those counted against me. It might have been that 4th one that counted against me. I think the other one that counted against me was it might have been that Mukbang Burger, that they didn't have the right bread. That none of those should have counted against me. They were out of my control. I can't help that the store didn't order the right buns for their hamburgers, and I can't help that the dealerships, the other one was a dealership that I remember now. It was another dealership didn't have the part that the guy needed. So all that stuff's out of my control, but 2 of them counted against me, unfortunately. But I can have up to 5 canceled orders and still maintain my diamond driver status. So I'm not really at any risk of losing that. I just hate seeing that number tick up, especially when it's things that are out of my control. You know, it's one thing if I pick up an order and then I decide I spill the order and I'm unable to complete the order. That's my fault if I drop the order. If I just decide it's too far away to drive and I don't want to do it, which is a ridiculous excuse. But that's another circumstance where it's a decision that I've made, or it's a mistake that I made and I cancel the order. You know, that I understand those count against me, but when it's things that the restaurant has done wrong, or it's things out of my control that I can't help, you know, it's not a mistake I done, you know, that those should count against me. But the app is what it is, so I have to work with the way the app works, you know. So yeah, my canceled percent is now at 4%. I arrived at stores and customers' homes on time, 93% yesterday. That's Tuesday's business. After Monday's business, I was doing that 94% of the time, so I've gotten worse there by 1%. And my acceptance score has went up 5%. I accepted 92% of the orders that came through the app. And a lot of that is due to this quest that I'm on. I accepted orders that I wouldn't normally take, poor orders, you know, not very good paying orders, just to earn that $240, which, I mean, sincerely, even if I take an order that's $3 or $4, I'm still making over $2 more on top of that if you count in the quest that I'm on and that earnings that I'm going to be making by the end of the year. So it all works out money wise, but I need to keep that in mind. Once I'm not on a quest, possibly next week, I need to go back to my old standards of what orders that I take. I'm checking out gas prices here at the Circle K, and they've went up in the state of Florida, and the average price of gas in the United States has went up, but this Circle K is still at $3.19. That's what it was yesterday. So it's not a great price, but I'm glad that it's not gone up anymore. The average price of gas in Florida has went up 15 cents to $3.06. And the average price of gas in the United States has went up 9 cents to $3.19. So this Circle K is the same as the national price of gas, $3.19, but it's higher than the Florida state average by 13 cents. I feel a little bit like my allergies are acting up, but I think I delivered flowers. One of the courier savers I did yesterday was delivering flowers. And I swear I can still smell the flowers in my car. I had them on my front seat, and the smell must have gotten into the fabric of my seats, because I can still smell those darn flowers in here, and it's kind of messing with my nose. I only wrote down what weather-atlas.com and Meta AI had to say about the weather. I meant to do it when I got back to the camper, but I turned on Two Broke Girls, and I just dozed off. And next thing I know, it's after midnight. I'm waking up after midnight, so didn't check out the Fox 13 Tampa Bay or 10 Tampa Bay for the weather today. But according to weather-atlas.com, the sky will feature a blend of clouds and sunshine today in Tampa, this 4th of March. The high will be a tropical 88 degrees and the low a comfortable 66 degrees going into Thursday morning. These highs and lows better align with April's highs and low temperatures. So it's definitely much warmer this time of year than it should be here in Tampa. Precipitation probability is at 9%, humidity is at 63%, and winds will be out of the east at 9 miles an hour. And then I also asked Meta AI about the weather today in Tampa, and this is how it responded. It said, weather in Tampa is looking pretty sweet. Expect partly sunny skies with temperatures reaching the upper 80s and lows in the upper 60s. So that's much in line with what weather-atlas.com had to say. Not so much with the low temperature. It said the low would be 66, and this is saying the upper 60s for the low, but it's very close to what weather-atlas.com said. These temperatures, there is a slight chance of precipitation at 10%. And that's in line with what the rain it predicted on weather-atlas.com. And then winds will be gently blowing at 5 to 10 miles an hour out of the east, Meta AI said. And then as I usually do, I wrote down all the deliveries I completed yesterday. I did 12 trips and I had 18 customers. I would have had more trips had some of those, I would have had more customers had some of those places had the right stock, had the stock they needed to satisfy their customers. But I started out the day, trip number 1 was picking up Wawa at the Bush Boulevard location for Kathy. Kathy's fare for that Wawa order was $2.20. And Kathy tipped me $4, so made $6.20 for picking up Kathy's Wawa order. Thank you for the $4 tip, Kathy. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate the $2.20 fare I earned for picking up your Wawa order. I appreciate you, Kathy. And then trip number 2 was a Starbucks order for Eddie. This was the Starbucks at Fletcher and Telecom. Eddie was generous and tipped me $5 for picking up his Starbucks, and I earned a $2.60 fare. Thank you, Eddie, for the $5 tip. I really appreciate that. I need all the trips and fares I can make. Got rent, car insurance, gas, upkeep on my car with the oil changes. I'm saving up for my next car that I most likely will have to buy at some point next year. Hopefully not until next year. Food, saving for retirement. I've got a lot of expenses, so I need all the fares and tips I can make. After dropping off Eddie's Starbucks order, I went on a triple for Mark, Lucy, and Mo. Mark wanted Dunkin' Donuts on East Bush Boulevard. Lucy wanted me to pick up Sunny and Fine Breakfast. This is that Sunny and Fine Breakfast is a ghost kitchen that operates out of El Jefe Cafe on Bush Boulevard. And then Mo wanted Wendy's on 56th. Mo, Lucy, and Mark, they tipped me $11.25. Thank you so much for the very generous tip. That was a very good tip, Mo, Lucy, and Mark. I appreciate the three of you. And I earned a fare of $6.18. I made $17.43 for that triple. That might have been my best one of the day, too. Yeah, that was my best paying run of the day. No, 6 was my mistake, but that was a very good paying trip nonetheless. Thank you so much, Mo, Lucy, and Mark, for the very excellent 11.25 tip. I appreciate the three of you. Then I went on 2 singles in a row. 4 and 5 were singles for Gene and Matt. Gene tipped me $6.52 for picking up Palm River Cafe on Palm River. And Matt tipped me $2.50 for picking up his Dunkin' Donuts on Martin Luther King. Thank you very much, Gene and Matt, for the generous tips. And then trip number 6 was my best paying trip of the day. It was that one of these was that order I had to drop, Office Depot. So Anne wanted flowers picked up from Orient Road. This is first time I've ever done an order like this. I've picked up flowers before, but this was a 1-800 flowers order, the 800 number. So I picked up 800 flowers from Orient Road for Anna, and the second part would have been an Office Depot order, but the second part actually was another courier saver. I picked up rotors for Jeff from Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep. So I earned a fare of $5.27 for picking up that courier order and the flowers order, and I earned a tip of $12.97 from somebody. It might have been from both of you, but I'm assuming that $12.97 was from the flowers order, because I don't think Courier Saver, I never earned a tip from Courier Saver. But nonetheless, I appreciate the both of you, Jeff and Anna, for the business, and I appreciate you, Anna, for the nearly $13 tip. I made $18.24 for a relatively easy double to do, so thank you so much. And that was my best paying trip of the day. Thank you so much, Jeff and Anna, for the business and the tips. I appreciate the both of you. And then trip number 7 was going to be another courier saver, picking up a part from the Ford dealership, but they didn't have the part the guy needed. So I went on trip number 7 for Cece. Cece wanted Chick-fil-A on Fowler. Cece tipped me $3, and I earned a fare of $3.56. I made $6.56 for picking up Cece's Chick-fil-A order. Thank you for the business and the $3 tip, Cece. I appreciate you. And then trip number 8, I picked up shingles for a construction site. I picked up shingles for a roof from QXO. I'm not sure how to say that, but the business was QXO on Sabal Industry Boulevard. And I delivered those, and I made $14.74 for delivering shingles for that construction site. Thank you for the business, QXO, and whoever ordered the shingles from that place. I appreciate that. I made $14.74 for picking up those shingles. And then I went on that was trip number 8. Trip number 9 was a double for Tiffany and Jack. Tiffany wanted Zaxby's on New East Bay Road, And Jack wanted Burger King on Highway 301. Tiffany and Jack were very generous and tipped me $9, and I made a fare of $3.03. So I made $12.03 for picking up Zaxby's and Burger King for Tiffany and Zach. And Jack. Tiffany and Jack. Thank you very much for the generous $9 tip, Tiffany and Jack. I appreciate the both of you. Then I went on a double for Travis and George. This is trip number 10. Travis and George wanted Culver's on Boyette Road. They tipped me $7.53, and I earned a fare of $3.72. I made $11.25 for picking up that double for Travis and George. That was a relatively easy double to do. Same restaurant. And George and Travis lived very close to, weren't that far apart, less than a mile away from each other. So that was a very easy double to do and an easy way to earn 11.25. So thank you so much, Travis and George. I appreciate you. And then I went on a single for Chrissy. Chrissy, this is trip number 11. Chrissy wanted Wayback Burgers on Fishhawk Crossing, I think it is. I left that part off, but there's 2 Fishhawks that I've delivered to, but I think this is the Fishhawk on Fishhawk Crossing. Chrissy, her fare was $2 and she tipped me $3, so I made $5 even for picking up that order for Chrissy on Wayback Burgers. Thank you, Chrissy, for the $3 tip. And then trip number 12 was my last run of the day for Kathy. It was a double for Kathy and Lee. Kathy wanted Cali Restaurant on Highway 301, and Lee wanted Riverview Fresh Market Deli on Highway 301. They tipped me $6.05, and I earned a fare of $5.33. So I made $11.38 on that double. Thank you very much for the generous $6.05 tip, Lee and Kathy, and thank you for the fare I earned. And I appreciate all that my customers yesterday, because you're getting me closer and closer to my goal of 110 customers this week. And if I do that, I'll earn an extra $240. So thank all of you for that, getting me closer to my goal of 110 customers this week. I also appreciate you for that. Well, aside from having my breakfast this morning and getting in as many Uber Eats deliveries as I can, I need to buy my my next Powerball ticket for tonight's drawing. I didn't do that yesterday. I should have done it yesterday, but I didn't. So I need to buy a Powerball ticket before tonight's drawing of the Powerball. I'm going to get off here. I hope you all are having a great week like I am. God bless you all. And I want to remind you that if you're struggling with anything, any problems, big or small, it can be a problem that you understand or a problem that you don't fully understand. You just don't feel right, and things just aren't working out in general for you. Or if it's something that you can put words to, bills, problems at work, relationship problems with your kids, family members, debt that you can't seem to get over. You're falling in debt, and every week you get deeper and deeper in debt with credit card bills, and you just can't seem to get right with that. Talk to God about your problems and pray to God and ask God for help. And as long as you believe in God and trust in Him, He will help you with any problems you have, big or small, even health problems, And if those problems don't entirely go away, you will find that they will become insignificant in time because you talk to God about it. He's helped me with problems, my problems, big problems and small problems, and He will help you with your problems too. As long as you believe in Him and trust in Him, He will help you with those problems, because God is good, God is great, always and always. Amen. Well, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I hope you have a great day and are having a great week like me. Goodbye for now.